Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Ladybug. I'm so glad to have you here for part 2 of the exciting story of Galan and Solmaz. In the last episode, we began to explore their captivating journey filled with love, challenges, and unforgettable moments. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I recommend checking it out first so you don't miss any of the details. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can follow along with all our stories and lessons. Now, let's dive into the next chapter of Galan and Solmaz's adventure. Get ready, because this part is going to be even more thrilling. Let's begin. A few days after that passionate encounter, news spread through the village, news that would alter the lives of Galan and Solmaz and change the fate of both tribes. The message came from the elders of Galan's tribe. An official marriage proposal was to be arranged, with all the tribal leaders present. This union was meant to solidify an alliance between the tribes, ensuring peace and security for both sides. The news struck Solmaz's heart like an arrow, leaving her feeling broken inside. She couldn't bear the thought of losing Galan forever. Even though Galan had promised to protect their love, there was still a deep worry hidden in her eyes, a fear that kept her awake at night and weighed heavily on her heart. On the night of the betrothal ceremony, Galan, tormented by the thought of being separated from Solmaz, decided to do something no one expected. With a glance at the moon, which stood as a silent witness to their love, he set out under the night's cover, heading toward the old tree where they had shared their secret meetings. Meanwhile, Solmaz, restless from worry, felt an inexplicable urge to go to the very place that had become sacred to her. When Solmaz arrived, she saw Galan approaching her like a shadow in the night. They fell into each other's arms without a word, both aware of the risk they were taking. With tearful eyes, Solmaz looked at Galan and asked, "Galan, if they tell you that you have to marry and forget me, what will you do?" Galan gently touched Solmaz's face and, with a calm, assured voice, replied, "Solmaz, my love for you is not something I can forget. Even if I must marry another, my heart will always be with you. If it comes to it, I'll leave the tribe and run away with you forever." Solmaz felt some relief in her heart from his words, yet fate had another plan. That same night, members of Galan's tribe were searching for him, and when they found him with Solmaz, they tore them apart without mercy. The elders, furious at Galan's defiance, decided to send him to a distant fortress in the mountains, a place where no one could reach him. They believed that separating him from Solmaz and keeping him far from his love would bring him back to the ways of the tribe. As Solmaz watched in horror, she cried out with all her soul, begging them to let her see him just once more, but the guards pulled her away. Galan, his eyes full of love and longing, managed to call out in a shaky voice, "Solmaz, my love for you will never die. Wait for me." And so it was that Galan was taken to a cold, isolated fortress in the mountains, while Solmaz, alone and heartbroken, returned home, clinging to the hope that one day she would see her beloved Galan's eyes once more. After Galan was taken away, Solmaz spent her days and nights in longing and sorrow. Every morning, her eyes turned to the distant mountains where Galan was imprisoned in a cold, lifeless fortress. Her heart was full of worry, but at the same time, there was a flame of love and hope within her that kept her from despair. She knew their love wouldn't break easily and silently vowed to herself to rescue Galan, even if it cost her life. On a cold, dark night, Solmaz decided she could no longer sit idly by. She resolved to infiltrate the fortress and free Galan. Wrapped in warm clothes with a long scarf covering her face, she quietly left the village and set out toward the mountains. She ignored the cold and the hardships of the journey, thinking only of Galan and the moment she would hold him in her arms again. After hours of walking, the fortress appeared in the mist and darkness. Its high, stone walls seemed impenetrable, but love gave Solmaz a strength that no barrier could stop. She carefully slipped past the guards, making her way into the cold, dark corridor where Galan was imprisoned. As Solmaz reached Galan's cell, she heard his weary, quiet voice whispering in the darkness, as if he, too, held on to hope for her presence. With a voice that trembled but was filled with love, she said, "Galan, I'm here. I'll never leave you alone." Galan, his eyes brimming with tears of joy, came to the cell door, barely able to believe this moment was real. He reached his trembling hands through the bars and took Solmaz's warm hands in his. At that moment, it felt as if all their pain and suffering had disappeared. With a voice filled with happiness, Galan said, "Solmaz, you really came? I didn't think I'd ever see your face again." Solmaz, smiling with a mix of love and sadness, replied, "Galan, no wall, no lock, and no land can keep me from you. I'm here to take you to freedom." With tears of joy in their eyes, Solmaz explained the plan she had devised. She had found a way out of the fortress, and together, they moved through the darkness. The guards, unaware of Solmaz's love and bravery, were unable to stand in their way. They escaped together, under the moonlight and in the silence of the night. The cold and the difficult path didn't matter, their love kept them warm and strong. When they reached the open plain and stopped under the starry sky, Galan took Solmaz in his arms and whispered, "Solmaz, you are my life. Even if the whole world is against us, your love gives me the strength to face any challenge." Solmaz gently replied, "Galan, you and I were made for each other. This love will never fade. From now on, wherever we go, we'll be together." Hand in hand, the two lovers, nearing a field of wildflowers, looked forward to a bright future full of hope, a future where nothing and no one could ever come between them. As the years passed, the seemingly peaceful life of Galan and Solmaz in the heart of nature was shadowed by escalating threats as their two tribes clashed over alliances and control of the land. These conflicts, intensifying with each day, deeply affected the destiny of the two lovers. Even though their love had blossomed among the mountains and plains, tribal politics and family expectations would never allow their love to flourish freely. As the tribes teetered on the brink of all-out war, Galan and Solmaz both knew that a day might come when fate would pull them apart. Yet neither could bear the thought of abandoning their love. Amid the battles and threats, Galan promised Solmaz that no matter what happened, he would always be by her side. On a dark night, when war was imminent, Galan and Solmaz decided to stay together one last time, even if it meant risking their lives. Standing beside their old tree, which had been a silent witness to their love, they held each other close and promised that their love would endure, even beyond death. That same night, as the battle between the tribes erupted, Galan and Solmaz stepped into the battlefield from the shadows. Their only aim was to protect each other and safeguard their love. But amid the bloodshed and screams, neither could escape their fate. In a final attempt to save Solmaz, Galan lost his life, and Solmaz, her heart full of love for him, collapsed beside his body. They passed from this world together, their eyes still locked on one another, their hands clasped tightly. In the aftermath, the two tribes, struck with disbelief, saw that even in death, these lovers had remained inseparable. The story of Galan and Solmaz became legend, living on in the hearts of everyone who heard it. The old tree, a silent witness to this tragic end, bloomed each year in memory of the two lovers and was forever known as the Tree of Eternal Love. This tale became one of the most enduring stories of love in history, a reminder that true love can never yield to cruelty or enmity but remains alive in hearts for all eternity. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the story of Galan and Solmaz. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did sharing it with you. If you liked this story and want to hear more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Your support means the world to us. Share this story with your friends and help our channel grow. English with Ladybug, where stories and learning come together. See you in the next video.